What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Lunchtablesports podcast. Today's episode, we're going to be going over both of our top 10 wide receivers in the NFL draft. My receiver one in the NFL draft is Garrett Wilson. One of the big things that steps out for me for his tape is he's got the 0 to 100 type speed and route running. Once he makes his move, he's able to turn on the jets and get around guys. That's what makes him really special. He's got amazing catch radius. One of the catches for me that stands out for him is his big play against Michigan. Ohio State's only big plays against Michigan, but he had a big 40-yard catch, completely mossed the corner. And for being a 6-foot receiver, those receivers don't really get those kind of recognition for that, but he definitely wanted to point that out there. He can improve his route running a little bit. Sometimes he relies too much on his quick speed and maybe just can improve a little bit there. He had some drops in the beginning of the year. I wouldn't look too far into that. I think that won't be an issue when he's in the NFL. And he really reminds me of Calvin Ridley when I both see him out there. So that's my pro comp for Garrett Wilson.
I've got Garrett Wilson too as my number one receiver. Just like you said, he's super fast, 4.3 at the combine. He has outstanding body control. His catch radius is super high. He catches anything you throw at him. He's dynamic after the catch. But I think his best ability where he makes plays after he catches the ball, just not catching the ball. Like he's quick and gets yards after the catch. So I think he's the clear cut number one in this draft.
Yep, absolutely. My wide receiver two in the draft is Jameson Williams from Alabama. He definitely would have been a top 10 pick if he hadn't suffered that torn ACL in the national championship game against Georgia. You just hate to see that with players like him. He has blazing speed. He's by far the fastest receiver in the draft. There's no doubt in my mind that he easily would have ran in the 4.2 if he would have been able to participate in the combine. I think a very underappreciated part of his game is his route running. He's a very smooth route runner. He's able to creep behind the linebackers and get to that next level. His yards after catch ability is amazing. Yeah, he averaged 19.9 yards per catch this season, which is just absolutely phenomenal for a guy like him. For being 6'2", he's a little lean and skinny. 6'2" receivers are a little bulkier and a little more jump ball, but I wouldn't put that in a knock his game at all. His build, he's built like Will Fuller, but I think he plays a lot like Henry Ruggs. Just that big speed ability. So that's my wide receiver too.
Yeah, so we're following each other here. I got Jameson Williams as my wide receiver too as well. He's got game-breaking speed. He has a track background, so I think that shows up in his game. He tore his ACL, just like you said, which is brutal, but I think if a team can take a risk on him and risk that he's going to be the player that he was before that, I think that it'll play off big time. And even though he may miss some time to start his rookie season, I think that it'll be worth it to take a risk on him. So I think that he has a talent to be the wide receiver one out of this draft when it's all said and done, but we'll see.
Yeah. My wide receiver 3 in the draft is Chris Olave. Chris Olave was a little underappreciated this year because he was that third target on that loaded Ohio State receiving core, but that is not a knock on him at all. The best part of his game is his route running. He's probably one of the top route runners in this draft. He's able to get open on any corner in the country you put on him. He's very fast and quick, burst off the line, which does help with his route running. He has good playability after catch too. His jab moves and juke moves after the catch are on top of this class. He's great at adjusting the route. If the route's not there, he can find a different angle to approach the route, which I think is a great thing you want to see in a receiver. His frame and strength may be a problem in the pros. You worry about that a little bit for being a 6'1", 190 receiver, but I don't think that's a huge knock on him. And my pro comp is Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, so I got Chris Olave too as my number 3. So you said he creates separation easily, and he's one of the most polished route runners in the draft. Due to his speed, his ability to track the ball is very well, and he can be a weapon in the vertical passing game. So I think that says a lot about him, that he's fast and creates separation. So he's always a threat for that big play. And his Ohio State career, he had 35 touchdowns and 50.4 yards per catch. So he's a big play guy that can always be relied on to make that a game breaking play. So I think he's my clear cut number 3.
Yep. My wide receiver 4 here is Drake London. Drake London's just an amazing jump ball receiver. He's a mismatch nightmare. There's really no corner that can really match his size and strength. He always finds holes in the defense. If he's not constantly mossing guys, he's able to sneak between the corners and safeties to get that catch, which I think is a really good part of his game. He's coming off of a broken ankle. He broke his ankle about the midseason point in the year. So already having 88 receptions for 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns at the midway point of the year was unbelievable on its own. So who knows how many yards he would have gotten if he would have stayed healthy. But I think because of that broken ankle, he drops to wide receiver 4 for me. He lacks explosive speed like these top guys, and not as quick of a release, which I think maybe will make him as a pure jump ball receiver in the NFL. And a pure jump ball receiver in the NFL is Michael Pittman. And I think both their games translate well with each other.
Yep, I agree with you again. I got Drake London as number 4. I originally had him as my number 2 receiver, but I moved him down a little bit just the reasons that you said. He's coming off a broken ankle. So the risk is there, but I think the reward is even bigger. Just like you said, he had 88 receptions and 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns in just 8 games. So I mean, those stats are crazy. Like if he played the whole year, who knows how good he could have been. So, and he also played basketball. He started his USC career as a dual sport athlete playing basketball. So I think that shows his jump ball ability and his ability to use his big frame to come down with balls. So Drake London's my number 4.
Yeah. My wide receiver 5 here is Traylon Burks. I'm a huge Traylon Burks fan. I just love the way he plays his game. He's a big receiver that plays with speed. I think the combine didn't really show it. He ran a 4.5 at the combine, but I think he's way faster in game than what the combine showed. He's kind of an offensive weapon. You can play him all over the field. Need be, he can do it. He's a mismatch nightmare. Same thing as Drake London. I mean, he's a 6'2", 225 receiver. He's definitely the mismatch. He's a little sloppy with route running, and he had a simple route tree at Arkansas. He didn't run the most complex of routes that he will run in the NFL. My pro comp for him is a Deebo Samuel, AJ Brown type build. I don't know if he'll be as good as them. Hopefully he is, but I just see similarities in their game.
Yep. You got the same guy again. I got Traylon Burks here, number 5. His run after catch ability, I think, is his most sought after ability. He's so big and physical that he throws guys off of him, and he's hard to take down. So I think that's a big part of his game. And just like you said, he ran a 4.5 40 at the combine, but he plays a lot faster than that. And I think the only thing that knock on him is just like you said, his route running ability. In the NFL with these quarterbacks, he's gonna have to up his game in the route running category. But I think if he can do that, sky's the limit for Traylon Burks.
Yeah, 100%. My wide receiver 6 in the draft is Jalen Dotson from Penn State. One of the things that stands out for me is his amazing jump ball ability for size. He's only 5'11", and I see him out there going up for jump balls against 6-foot corners. And you love to see that for a smaller type receiver. All of his routes are ran to the top of his ability. He's never slacking off on a route. Even if he knows the ball's not getting there, he's trying to sell the defense on his route. And you just like to see that out of a hardworking guy. He has great ball skills. He's able to track the ball, turn on the jets when need be. But some of the knocks him, he goes for the difficult catch sometimes. He'll go for the one-hander or he'll kind of get the toe drag when he can just go for the simple two-hand. I don't think that's huge on him, but I just wanted to point that out. And he's too fast in some of his routes. He turns on the jets too early, kind of making him stumble and miss the ball. That's only popped up on his film a couple of times. And I see a lot of Deontay Johnson in this game.
Yeah, so I mean, originally we basically have the same mock draft here, so I'll switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna move Christian Watson up my board. I think he easily he has some of the most potential I think in this draft, but the knock on him is he just played at North Dakota State, but I think we saw Trey Lance last year go top 3 in the draft, so I don't think that's an issue at all. He's fast. He's 6'4", 208, so he's big, fast, strong. And he's also a threat to return kicks. So I think that he's an all-around guy. He's a good route runner. And he can just straight up burn you. So I think that I think that a team like, I think in the mock draft he said maybe the Chiefs or something like that. A team like that is already established as a good quarterback would really benefit from having Christian Watson.
Yeah, 100%. My receiver 7 here is Christian Watson. Adyn just talked about him. One of the things that stands out for me is he has blazing speed. 4.340 for a guy who's 6'4", 210 is just crazy. I mean, that's DK Metcalf like speed for being that big. And he's constantly burning the corners and safeties that are guarding him at North Dakota State, which, I mean, you might want to say there's lack of competition, but as we see in the NFL, that isn't in play a whole lot. He was the most dominant Senior Bowl receiver. I think that's when people started to try to recognize his talent. Sometimes he misjudges jump balls. He's not the best jump ball receiver for his size. He definitely is still a good jump ball, but he could be better for his size. And same thing about Traylon Burks here. He doesn't have the most complex route tree at North Dakota State. Mainly have him on fly patterns a lot. And I see a lot of DJ Chark in this game.
Yeah, for sure. So number 7, I have George Pickens. He tore his ACL last year, which I think you could say is a knock on him. Not too much film on him recently, but as a highly touted true freshman, he had 49 receptions, 727 yards, and 8 touchdowns. I think that speaks a lot to him as a freshman, a true freshman, having that productive of a year. I think it shows his athletic ability, being 6'3", 195. He's got a good frame. He's got good speed. He's really all around. He has natural hands, and he has excellent body control. So I think the list on him is very long, and his athletic ability shows. So I think George Pickens will be a really good NFL receiver.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of going after each other here, but it's all right. Game recognizes game. The talent's there. My wide receiver 8 is George Pickens. He's an excellent jump ball receiver. He showed that throughout his whole career in Georgia. He plays with great physicality. One of my favorite highlights from George Pickens isn't a catch. In fact, it's a block. There's a block he made against Michigan in the CFB semifinal game where he just absolutely leveled Dax Hill. I mean, leveled him. He shoved him right to the ground in a block. And that Dax Hill is a guy who's might go in the first round. So that should show something too. He tore his ACL at the end of his sophomore year, which really sucked for him because he was a guy people thought could possibly be a first-round pick this year. But he came back in time for the playoffs, which really shows his hard work and dedication off the field. And he looked amazing in the playoffs. My pro comp for him is Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, so for my next guy, I'm going to change it up again. I got Jalen Tolbert here. Originally, I had I forget who I had. I can't pull my mock draft up right now, but I'm going to put up Jalen Tolbert here. He's a really good route runner, and he has natural hands. And he's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. So I think a guy like that, maybe late first round, maybe second round, third round, somewhere around there, a team could get really lucky with high value with Tolbert. So he's definitely a top 20 guy, and he's an older receiver. He's a senior last year. So I think he's proven, and he's not a veteran, but he's older than some of these other guys. So you know what you're gonna get, and that's why last second I just moved him up. So Tolbert there.
Yeah, Tolbert's a good one for me too. I have him right outside the top 10, so I'm glad you were able to bring him up. My wide receiver 9 is Skye Moore from Western Michigan. He was a great college production every single year in Western Michigan. He was constantly putting up great numbers. In my opinion, he's got the best hands in the draft. He has humongous hands. They measured him at the combine. I'm not sure his exact hand size, but he has very big hands. I haven't seen a lot of drops coming from him. He's more of a slot only type receiver. So you're going to see him be in the slot. That's where he works best. He has great footwork and route running too, just like a lot of these other receivers. Some of the knocks on him, the best team he played all year is Michigan, and he only had 2 catches against them, which I think that was more of just them kind of taking away their game plan rather than Skye Moore not getting open. He's not going to burn you every play. He still can burn you though, but he's not the type of player who's going to show elite speed every single play. And I think a good comparison for Skye Moore is Cole Beasley.
Yep, I got Skye Moore here too. He was an option quarterback and DB in high school, and he was actually recruited to Western as a cornerback, but he converted to receiver based on the team needs and stuff like that. So I think that shows his athleticism, and not all the game tape will show how fast he is or how athletic he is, but I think just based off his stats and everything like that, and how he was a corner and he switched, shows how athletic he really is. So I think, just like you said, they didn't play very good teams this year, but I think if he's on a better team, like a big school or something like that, then we would have heard about him even more. So I got Skye Moore there as well.
My wide receiver 10 to wrap this top 10 list up is John Mechie, wide receiver, Alabama. I just got to get this out of the way. He did have a torn ACL, which caused him to drastically fall off draft boards. It's the same thing with Alabama receivers. You just really hate to see this happen to him. He probably would have been a late first round pick, but that ACL caused him to drop. But put that aside, he's a great route runner. He's constantly finding holes in the defense. I have great wiggle to his game. And that just means he's able to shake off guys. He's able to sneak behind the linebackers or in front of them and just kind of go unnoticed. And that's a really big part of his game. And you're able to drop him off, and he's able to get yards after the catch. He's great at adjusting to the play. If there's like a broken play, or in times you saw Bryce Young in the pocket kind of struggling, and he'll see an opening in the field and he'll just take that opening. And it's been a couple of times where that's been converted to touchdowns. I see him as a lot of Jamison Crowder, slot receiver.
Yeah, so I'm gonna switch it up again, just to spice things up a little bit. I originally had Mechie here at 10 too, but just thinking now, I think he lacks elite traits, and unlike some of these other guys, I think they all are strong in one thing. So here at 10, I'm gonna switch to David Bell, from Purdue. He's not the fastest guy ever. He ran a 4.6 at the combine, but I don't think it surprised anybody. He's not a burner, but he uses his size, strength, toughness, and hands to win routes. And he was the main option on Purdue, and teams were trying to take him away, and that didn't stop him at all, having a very productive career and season last year at Purdue. So number 10 to round it off, I got David Bell.
Yeah, that's a good list. That wraps up our video for today. Thank you guys for watching the video. We're gonna keep pumping out this NFL draft content leading up to the draft. Super excited about that. So just make sure to like and subscribe. It just helps our channel grow a ton, reaches out to more people, and see you guys in the next video.